What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, and in this video we're going to talk about NVIDIA. If you guys want to see a full deep dive video on NVIDIA, comment down below. I would love to do that, but in this video I'm going to keep this a little shorter. We're going to talk about NVIDIA, about the split, and about where I see NVIDIA going in the next couple of weeks and months. The stock has been on an insane rally, up over $800 a share right now, up to $802, up about $41 or $5 or 5.43% today. If you guys don't know what NVIDIA is, it is a company that really focuses on graphics cards and GPUs, as well as a lot of AI as well. But the main thing that they focus on is graphics cards and GPUs. They are a semiconductor company, like AMD, like MU, like Intel. All of these companies have been trading extremely well over the past couple of weeks. And for NVIDIA, one of the big things that's a catalyst in pushing this stock is the fact that it is going to have a split pretty soon. Now, historically, we haven't really seen stocks rip into split news, but for NVIDIA, it's been insane. If you guys remember, Apple pre-split, the stock was up massive and then did take a fade after the split. You can see back here that from the time it was essentially announced that the stock was going to split around June 30th of 2020, the stock ripped 45% in 35 days. And literally the day that the stock split, up until 2 weeks later, the stock took a 23% loss. If you look at Tesla, same story here. Very recently, the stock found out that it was going to have a split, and from lows right when the split was announced on August 11th up until the date of the split, the stock was up 90% from the day that it split. Tesla took a fade of 35%. So it's not that always a stock fades after a split or necessarily runs into a split, but we have been seeing that trend with these major companies over the past year. And the same thing is happening with NVIDIA. The stock is up from the time that it was, talked about having a split. The stock is up around 30%. And for a company of that size and magnitude, that is a massive move. Overall, I really like NVIDIA. It is a very, very strong, fundamentally company. I do think, however, if you are buying NVIDIA for the long term, you are paying a premium as of right now. If you look at the tech sector, more specifically with CPUs and graphics cards, like there is massive chip shortages across the board, not only for PCs, like your own computers and offices, but for other big companies such as like Tesla and Neo. There's a GPU and CPU shortage across the board. And you can even see it with graphics cards. Like I know a lot of my friends who are looking to buy or build computers, and graphics cards are ridiculously overpriced right now because there's such a shortage due to the pandemic last year. Overall, if you want me, like I said, to do a full breakdown on NVIDIA, I would love to do that. But what I more so want to talk about now is how this split is going to affect the stock price of NVIDIA in the short term. I know we talk more long term on this channel, but because this is becoming such a public, and such a popular rise, a lot of people have been buying this. I wanted to go over if I feel like it's a smart move to purchase NVIDIA right now. And in the short term, I do not believe so. I know I go against the grain a lot, and a lot of people will probably be saying, and commenting in this video that I'm wrong. That's completely fine. I am wrong from time to time. But for me, I do believe over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years that NVIDIA is a phenomenal investment. I truly believe that. And I will say that if you're someone who's holding for the next 5, 10 years, great idea. However, if we look at the next 6 months, NVIDIA could run to 850, could run to 9, could run to $1,000. But what you have to think about as an investor is, what is your risk? What are you risking, right? Back down to a major support on NVIDIA is right down at $588. So if you were to purchase this right now and were to pull back down to major support, that's a 25% loss. Back down to your 11 EMA, which is a decently strong support, is a 13% loss. Pull back down to your 22 EMA is a 20% loss. And we're looking at this on a weekly chart. This is a very, very significant chart to use when you're looking at something this far out in time. As well, if we draw a major trend line running across the overall trend of NVIDIA over the past 6 years, you'll see that we are significantly far away from this major trend line. It's not that each and every time we make a higher high that it has to pull back. Like I don't think that we would have pulled back to 280 on NVIDIA, but just taking a look at this chart, let me turn this off real quick. I'm just getting a lot of flows coming into close. But taking a look at this chart, you can see that, overall we're overpriced, right? Like I know a lot of people don't want to think that, especially that if you're buying a position in NVIDIA, but let's just look at the performance of the company in the past 6 years from a technical standpoint. Fundamentally, we know they're sound. Look at this chart objectively and say, am I getting a good deal? I don't believe you are. I don't believe you're getting a good deal on NVIDIA right now. Let's just even look at the past 5 years on a daily chart. Do you think you're getting a good deal? I personally don't think so. I would like to, for me, I'm a huge stickler when it comes to, taking a long-term position. I only buy stocks if they're extremely underpriced. And for a solid company like NVIDIA, you don't tend to see those type of discrepancies. You don't tend to see NVIDIA trading under fair value by 20, 30, 40%. Overall though, if NVIDIA could pull back to like 630, 600, I think 600 is a very fair price for NVIDIA at this point. But I think that in the recent weeks, the public has taken this thing off, and it's not saying that the stock can't run. Like I said earlier, long term, I believe this is great. However, it doesn't mean short term this can't run. There are so many companies in the past couple of months that theoretically were not a great setup, but have continued to run anyway, just because people are continuing to purchase and continuing to purchase. So it's not that you can't make money, but it's, for me personally, I will be sitting this out. And I've had a lot of people asking me if I would enter, if I was planning to enter. My answer is no. However, taking a look back, if you are a part of my private academy, you will remember that we were trading this squeeze right here. So this, the price of NVIDIA really didn't move much for about a year. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, well, the stock is up 40% in 50 days. That's insane. Yes, that is crazy. But you also have to remember the stock did not move from August 2020 really up until a couple of weeks ago. It moved between that range of 504 and 600, which is a pretty significant range, but it really just sat sideways, so much to where we squeezed on a TTM. In order to get a weekly chart to squeeze the way that this is doing it, I mean, this thing squeezed for so long. And you can see once it released on it, the bigger the time frame, the bigger the release. This thing released nearly 60% in 92 days. So overall, I do believe in NVIDIA. I love the company long term, but I do think short term it will be poorly affected by the split after the split. So for me, I will be sitting this out. Guys, go give me a follow on Twitter. I put a lot of my trades and my investments there. It's the easiest way to stay in contact with me. Thank you for all of the support. Guys, if you want access to every single trade and investment that I take as soon as I take it, live stream with me and my teams every single morning for the first hour of market open. Get access to our 60-hour course library as well as our private Discord. Use the code below, use the link, and you'll start for $10 your first month. Truly means the world to me, guys. Thank you for all of your support. Good luck with NVIDIA, and I'll see you next time.